Hi there, I'm Steve Saunders. I do stuff like writing and everything like that. And I also own the gaming imprint Black Goat Games, which hasn't put anything out for a little while, but I'm hoping to change that really soon. And anyway, there have been a couple requests from some folks out there that want to hear me read something. And I suppose I can record myself reading it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read something that I have right here in my other office, which is my bedroom. I work from bed a lot, actually, as a writer and an editor, and I do copywriting and stuff like that. I purchased a new laptop, and the new laptop allows me to write wherever. I mean, I had another laptop, but it wasn't very powerful. This one replaces my desktop, which is currently out of commission. I had a motherboard issue. Cue everyone saying I should have got a Mac. Anyway, let's see here. So I will read from Confessions of a Brain, which is Confessions of a Brain, a life of unmitigated weirdness, observations, and such, plus some stories, which is a compilation of things that I've been working on or have worked on, old blog posts, thoughts. I think there's a poem in there, actually. I used to be working, I used to spend time working on a book called The Pressalin, which is about my life, and I have taken that book and some of the chapters that I made from that book and other things, trashed a few, rewrote a few, and now put that in this book, Confessions of a Brain, which is one of, it looks like 3, actually, which is strange. But I have another one, which is called I Write Because I Can't Fucking Draw. There's already a follow-up. It's already halfway full. This book has 225 pages, Confessions of a Brain. I write a lot, I guess. So someone suggested I do this. I even created my own art in MS Paint, which does not look good at all. I guess that's kind of the point. So anyway, I'm scrolling through this because I haven't set up the chapters yet. So let's see. There's one story. I don't want to do that one first. I thought I was going to do Today. And that's Worm. Actually, Worm. Let's do Worm. These are some flash fiction stories I wrote. I call them flasher fiction, and in the book it's called Flasher Fiction Story Time. So this one is Worm. Are you ready? Are you sure? Okay. And I'm not going to edit this either. I'm just gonna record it. I think there might even be chips on my face. I was just eating some nachos. So yeah, Worm. Hey, I know you're listening. You can't help it. You have nothing to do but hear what I have to say. Make yourself comfortable, because you are going to be here for a long, long time. First things first, you probably wonder why you're here, with me, unable to get away. Hey, I get it. You're scared. I'd be scared too, if I were in your position. I get scared just imagining myself in your spot. And that's tough for me, because imagination doesn't come easily to my kind. A lot of things are tough for me. Things you can easily do without any difficulty. Yet here you are, listening to what I have to say. What I have to think. It's more about what I think than what I can say, if you know what I mean. And how I feel? That's very easy for me. Very easy for me to convey. I am hungry. Do you know what my kind calls you? Worms. It's pretty funny, isn't it? I don't mean that thing you do with your meat parts that evinces mirth. I mean funny, as in queer, weird, strange, unusual, eldritch. Now, there's a word in your language I enjoy very much. Eldritch. I wonder if you would describe me as such. It's funny we call you worms, because it is beyond the scope of the words you creatures would use to describe yourselves. Worms. There was an acquaintance of mine from long, long ago who had a great term for encountering your kind. They called it worm sign, which, if you knew what I know about life, the universes, and everything else that all souls, spirits, and brains functions process, you would laugh too. See, this is laughing. I'll wager a great sum of wealth that you had no idea I am laughing right now. I believe what you are doing is crying? Yes? Weeping? Sobbing? And the begging begins. I have always wanted to be able to elicit a sound emission from myself that resembles in some way one of your sighs. But if you can imagine me sighing, that is what I'm doing. Well, within the emotional context of a creature such as you. You must accept your fate. Begging only ruins the time you have left. My sincere, kind advice is to just listen to what I have to say, and silently hope that I communicate with you for a long while. I will admit I get very lonely. Being something like me is a lot, where you either accept your role in the universe, or you let yourself waste away and perish. I do not wish to perish. Just as you, I wish to exist with the sheer determined will that recognizes my unhindered and unburdened existence for as long as all the possibilities will allow. Oh dear, I have upset you. I can understand now that this is upsetting. I cannot relate, so you will have to find it within yourself to forgive me somehow. Though I doubt you'll ever forgive me. You will not be able to. You will be incapable of doing anything but become a part of me for just a little while, and then you shall be expelled. But you won't be able to know about it. You will be already gone. As I have said, I am quite lonely. My kind do not relate well with each other. We live, by your reckoning anyway, for an incredibly long time. Not years, not decades, not centuries, but epochs. We exist for periods of times that span the length of several of your civilizations, and we've even figured out how to leave whole worlds and wholly different universes for ones beginning anew elsewhere. You will look at what you call worms on your world, and you will sometimes dig into the earth and look at them, feeling godlike perhaps. Then you will rid yourselves of them. Perhaps in your mobile larval state you will eat them. Anyway of it is cut, you will still be bound to that world. Or perhaps you are bound to traveling to several worlds. You will, and we will still see you as you see those worms. You are but worms to us. You can be destructive worms too. You squabble amongst each other as frequently as I would have passing thoughts of a millions of colors I am able to feel. You call them wars, combats, fights, struggles, revolutions, brawls. You come up with all kinds of reasons to justify violent, aggressive engagement. Did I aggressively engage you? No. I do believe you engaged me while I was napping. I tried to escape as I was not hungry, but alas, you persisted. I was forced to engage, terminate, and consume your companions, and now I need live sustenance. This is why I saved you for last. Think of this like it's the only survival you have left. Enjoy it while you can. One time, many eons ago, when I was young, I existed in a different world, a different place. Being a young being of my sort as I was, there were many sensations which were new and wonderful to me. One sensation was music. I had never heard it before, having lived where I had lived. Then came a moment when I encountered someone much like you, someone determined to make a point of some sort by ending my existence. It is unknown to me if that creature like you had any reason other than to demonstrate some sort of prowess for others of its kind, but it sang. Yes, I have learned what singing is since, as it attempted to lodge implements crafted from ores and patience into me. Most of your kind across the multiverse who I have encountered or have heard of believe in something called luck, and luck was not with the singing bother at that particular moment in time. It slipped because it was weighted by more ore and patience, and lost its balance, fell down, and not seeing its worth, for I was young and impatient, I quickly dispatched it, and consumed it as quickly as possible. At the time, I could not have told you the difference between your kind's screaming and singing. They were and are all strange sounds to me, back then and now. Eventually, as I grew larger and wiser, feasting mostly on creatures you consider to be lower life forms, much as I consider you to be, no offense meant, I encounter more beings akin to you. All of them had emotional investments pertaining to my demise and to all the worthless scraps and junk that had accumulated around me over the years. As I grew even wiser as the centuries passed, I also became clever. By your standards, I am quite clever. I succeeded in tricking you, didn't I? I am quite the clever soul now. Not to make you feel bad, but it was all too easy. It always amazes me how your kind is so simple to trick into finding me, falling into the traps I have set, and becoming my nutritious sustenance, all because you cannot resist looking for objects you have attached worth to, and because I bring many of these objects with me from realm to realm these days, and it is even easier to invite you into my domain with all sorts of creatures who consider themselves to be intelligent, becoming lovely short-term companions, and, in short time, food. Ah, you are trying to reason with me. I can appreciate that. If you must know, there are those who hate your kind, who live near me, and they are the ones who inform others of your kind who wish to accumulate wealth in the betrayal of their species by creating stories which, in turn, lure you here for your ultimate fate. Thank you nonetheless. I do not fault you for inquiring. I believe what you are feeling right now is part of fear, where you can begin to rationally think your way through to a possible solution. The only solution you are going to reach here is as a waste product. How did I do? I have been working for many decades on crafting jokes. I feel it lessens the impact of your demise. I can tell you more if it makes you feel more comfortable. Oh, I know. Here. How does that feel? Numbing quickly? Feel a little giddy? Yeah, those barbs are something I worked on for 300 of your years. I am not a cruel person, you see. I am merely hungry. Ooh, my arm's getting tired. We are all slaves to our biology. I suppose I should thank my lucky feelers that I am not enticed by shiny objects. Too bad, too, as shiny things are much shinier for me, as I have more optical receptors and external optical processing orbs. Are you ready? Of course you are. You have no choice. I have delighted in getting to know you as we have talked. While you begged, sobbed, pleaded, bargained, and tried to think your way out of this, I have already entered your physical being and have begun feasting on who and what you are exactly. I am already fond of you. You are, soon to be were, a kind soul, just looking to help your home village from a calamity. You were a hero. Your larvae looked up to you. You had few peers. You must be terribly shocked that a person such as me has entered you for supper time purposes. But as your life ends, don't fret over anything, or don't fret over any of the groveling. I won't tell anyone. I won't even mention that you offered up all the creatures you intended to save. I should apologize to you. I said this would be a long, long time. And it has been a long, long time. It just doesn't seem like that to you anymore. Time, as you currently know it, has absolutely no meaning. Now ready? As I have said, I am not a cruel person. Goodbye. And that was Worm. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to leave it warts and all, as I like, because I don't really particularly like editing very much. I'm not really much of an editor guy when it comes to video yet. So I'll just leave it in there, and you'll have to deal with the bumps as I read it, or mistype anything, or misspoke anything, because I noticed I had some typos in there as I was reading it, and I had to fight off the urge to correct them. And I don't even know how those typos got in there. I'm an editor, right? So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm going to cut this off now. Leave some comments. Tell me what you think. I hope this I hope this is appreciated by you guys that requested it, and hope it was what you were looking for. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Black Oak TV, and I'll try to get to some tips and other gaming-oriented things soon. I'm starting to run a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game every other week with some buddies, so I'll probably get some cool insights from that to share with you guys. All right, so thanks for tuning in, and take care of yourselves.